we were doing chapter number 2, force and pressure. And we discussed about motion. We did different types of motion and we also did mass and weight of a body. In my last video, I told you the differences between mass and weight. Now, mass is the quantity of matter contained in a body and it is constant. Wherever the body goes, the mass will always remain the same. And the SI unit of mass is kilogram. Now, what do you mean by weight? Weight is the force with which the earth attracts a body. So, the weight is the force of gravity acting on the body. And the SI unit of weight is Newton, because the weight is the force. I also told you that the mass can be measured by using beam balance, physical balance, digital balance. But weight can be measured by using a spring balance. So this picture shows the structure of a spring balance and it is used to measure the weight of a body. It has a long rod with a pointer and a hook is attached to the lower end of the rod. And the upper end carries a metallic spring from where you can hang this device. And it is enclosed in a metallic casing. Now there is a scale which has graduations starting from the top. See, the topmost point is 0. This scale is calibrated in kilogram. Some spring balances are calibrated in gram. So here it is written, it is calibrated in kilogram. This shows 0, kilogram, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Up to 10 kilograms, this will give the reading, to give the weight of the body. And between 0 and 1, each division is divided into 10 small divisions. So each small division is of 100 grams. This pointer is movable on the scale and it gives the reading, it gives the weight of the body which is hung through this hook. So this hook is used to hang the body. Now the spring balance works on the principle that when a body is hung on a spring, the spring's extension, that is the increase in length of the spring, is directly proportional to the weight. Now you know this, how does the spring balances the weight of the body? You know the force of gravity always acts in the downward direction. If you hang a body at the hook, the force of gravity will act in the downward direction. Force of gravity is mg. So to balance it, the spring balance, the pointer of the spring balance will move to balance the force of gravity, which will give the weight of the body. So spring balance measure the weight of a body by opposing the force of gravity with the force of the extended spring. There is a spring inside it which gets extended, which gets elongated. And it balances the force of gravity, which gives us the weight of the body, which is shown by this point. Now, as the weight depends on the extension of the spring, more extension, more will be the weight. Less extension, less will be the weight. Twice the weight stretches the spring, twice as far. Thrice the weight stretches the spring, thrice as far. If we double the weight, the extension will become double. If we triple the weight, the extension of the spring will become triple. This effect was discovered by British scientist Robert Hooke, and hence it is known as Hooke's law. So what is Hooke's law? the amount an elastic body stretches out of shape, that is undergoes deformity, it changes its shape, it stretches out its shape, is directly proportional to the force acting on it. Directly proportional means more the force, more will be the elongation. Less force, less will be the elongation. So this is the principle on which the spring balance is based. Now how will you use the spring balance? First you have to hang the spring balance from a support. And then you will take the body whose weight has to be measured and you will suspend it through this hook. Obviously the spring will get elongated, balancing the weight of the body, and the pointer will move along the scale and will give you the reading. So this reading gives you the weight of the body. Suppose it comes up to this point. So what is the weight of the body? 3 kg. Children, the explanation part of the chapter is over. So let's discuss the exercises given at the back of the chapter. We'll start with the objective type questions, and these objective type questions you can mark in the book only. So we'll start with question number A, in which you have to choose the correct option. So part 1, which of the following types of motion is not exhibited by the earth moving around the sun? Circular, rotational, rectilinear or periodic? So the correct answer is rectilinear motion. When the earth moves around the sun, it exhibits circular motion, rotational motion, periodic motion, but not rectilinear motion. Now part 2, which of the following types of motion are possessed by a merry-go-round at the same time? Rotational motion and rectilinear motion, rectilinear motion and curvilinear motion, circular motion and rotational motion, oscillatory motion and circular motion. So the correct answer is C part, circular motion and rotational motion. These types of motions are possessed by a merry-go-round at the same time. Now the third part, the most appropriate unit for expressing the speed of a space rocket is meter per second, kilometer per second, kilometer per hour or kilometer per minute. So the correct answer is kilometer per second. This is the most appropriate unit for expressing the speed of a space rocket, because in this unit only you give the speed of very fast moving vehicles. Now part 4, the instrument installed in a car for measuring the distance travelled by the car is given by barometer, speedometer, anemometer, odometer. So the correct answer is odometer. This instrument is used for measuring the distance travelled by the car. Now the fifth part of the question, which of the following could not be a unit of speed? So the answer is second per minute, because speed is distance upon time. In all these units, kilometer per hour also speed upon time, meter per second also speed upon time. There also speed upon, distance upon time. But here time is divided by the distance. So this is not the unit of speed. Now part 6. 4 cars A, B, C and D are moving on a level straight road. The distance time graphs are shown in the given figure. Which of the following is the correct statement regarding the motion of these cars? See children, they have given a distance time graph and 4 cars are there. Car A, car B, car C and car D. So you know that from the distance time graph you can get the speed of the vehicle. So which is the correct statement? Car A is faster than car D. Car B is the slowest. Car D is the faster than car C. And car C is the slowest. As I have already told you, more steeper the slope of this graph, more will be the speed. So from this graph it is visible that the speed of car B is the lowest and the speed of car C is the highest. So this is the correct statement. Car B is the slowest. Now part 7. The slope of a distance time graph of a moving object indicates distance moved by the object, time taken by the object, speed of the object, position of the object. So the correct answer is speed of the object. The slope of the distance time graph gives you the speed of the object. Now part number 8. An athlete attains a maximum speed of 36 km per hour. This speed is equal to 5 meter per second, 10 meter per second, 15 meter per second, 20 meter per second. So we have to convert 36 km per hour into meter per second. So you multiply 36 by 5 upon 18. So 18 2s are 36, 2 5s are 10. So the correct answer is 10 meter per second. Now part 9. A student draws a distance time graph for a moving scooter and finds that the section of the graph is a horizontal line parallel to the time axis. Which of the following conclusions is correct about this section of the graph? The scooter has uniform speed in this section. The distance traveled with the scooter is maximum in this section. The distance traveled by the scooter is minimum in this section. And the distance traveled by the scooter is 0 in this section. So whenever the graph is a horizontal line parallel to the time axis, that means the distance is not changing. The vehicle is not in motion, it is stationary. So this statement is correct. Now part 10. The distance time graph of a car which comes to a stop after covering a certain distance will be a straight line sloping upwards, a curved line sloping downwards, a straight line parallel to the time axis, and a straight line parallel to the distance axis. So the correct answer is C. A straight line parallel to time axis. Now part 11. The SI unit of mass is Newton, kilogram, Newton per kilogram, gram. So the correct answer is B part. The SI unit of mass is kilogram. And 12th, the SI unit of weight is kilogram, Newton, Newton meter, kilometer. So the correct answer is the SI unit of weight is Newton. Now question number B is fill in the blanks. The movement of an object is called motion. When all the parts of an object move the same distance in a given time is called translatory motion. A bullet fired from a gun is an example of rectilinear motion. Movement of the moon around the earth is example of circular motion. The spinning of earth on its axis is an example of rotational motion. The motion of car running at a constant speed is an example of rectilinear motion. Mass is a scalar quantity which has only magnitude but no direction. The acceleration produced by the force of attraction of the earth is known as acceleration due to gravity. The weight of a body changes from place to place. A spring balance measures the weight of a body by opposing the force of a gravity by the force of an extended spring. Now true or false? Every object moves with a constant speed. This is false. Speedometer indicates the speed in kilometer per second. This is also a false statement. Odometer measures the distance covered in kilometers. This is true. The speed of a train is expressed in meter per hour. False. Distances between two cities are measured in kilometers. True. The basic unit of time is second. This is also true. A straight line graph parallel to the time axis or horizontal line graph tells us that the object has become stationary. This is true. The SI unit of mass is gram. False. The mass of a body can be 0. False. Weight is a scalar quantity. False. Now, D question match the following. Turning of a potter's wheel. So, this is an example of circular motion. Motion of fish swimming underwater. So, this is an example of random motion. Weight. Third part is weight. Weight is a vector quantity. Then fourth part, mass. Mass is a scalar quantity. And fifth part, motion of a train starting from a railway station is a non-uniform motion. Now, periodic motion. So, rotation of earth and revolution of moon around the earth. Oscillatory motion, motion of a swing, motion of a pendulum of a clock. Rotational motion, spinning top, turning of a potter's wheel. Scalar quantities, mass, length. Vector quantities, velocity and force. So children, you can give any other example also of your choice. So children, complete all these objective type questions in the book, and the subjective type questions you will do in your physics file.